Hello everyone, Skippy here, and welcome to One Piece episode 1044. Directed by Yasunori Koyama and supervised by Hizaiwe and Masahiro Shimanuki. For the climax of my favorite fight in this section of the arc, it's only appropriate, I guess, that one of my favorite directors on the series gets to handle it. As co-series director Yasunori Koyama takes the reins of this devilish end to this battle with the Spider Lady, that looks like it'll be punchy and colorful as expected from him, but also dynamic and cool when it comes to his own brand of action, much like we saw from him in his last big episode, 1028. With room for expansion and the animation itself already looking great to begin with, as one of Young-So's friends Hizaiwe helps Shimanuki out on the supervision side of things, will episode 1044 be everything it should be considering the fantastic staff behind it? Let's plunge our way back to hell and find out. This episode covers the remainder of chapter 1021 and pretty much follows the manga in terms of beat-for-beat content, which was strong as is to begin with, so nothing really needed to be added majorly or taken away from it, I feel. But due to the spreads and insane amount of content packed into the original chapter, it's no wonder why the anime decides to slow it down a bit and take it all in to make sure every moment really sinks in and speaks to the viewer. Doing right by all the tiny panels that are supposed to be meaningful moments in of themselves and making them into larger moments on a bombastic scale or just generally more important than they seem on the surface, which I think allows you to really soak in the kind of character story Oda wanted to write this chapter, and that's heightened even more so by the different minute flashbacks that are sprinkled throughout that emphasize Robin's inner thoughts in regards to being viewed as a demon from her childhood into adulthood as we look back at her years worth of memories that are plagued by it, which then in the present leads her to embrace it and literally become the demon that everyone says she is for those that count on her currently and those in the past that wished for her to live. Enforcing that original message tenfold and making it seem like the big character moment that the manga's dialogue made it out to be, without having to go to the lengths of adding in filler all over like most big Wano episodes, because Koyama just gets had to enhance the content at hand even without it. It's just another flex from the director in regards to how well he understands the stories and characters at hand, and his board and the ideas within it bring it all together perfectly. Koyama's direction began as a bit of a dayakomaki, but as of late 2020 became sort of inspired by the far out there ideas that you'd see in many Shaft productions, using color and an array of quirky but interesting ideas that might seem peculiar but really do help aid even the smallest scenes in becoming something interesting, and in general just gives the episode a premium look that never houses a dull moment. And without question, that's the type of work that he puts on full display here by going all in with what we all know him best for, crafting a really interesting board that packs as much of a punch as Black Maria's own, that has its own fair share of connecting shots through one object or another, colors as far as the eye can see, and symbolism galore as Robin's fishman karate performing arm is portrayed as a road for her past self to run on, as Saul's final words to her about living and finding true friends rings once more. And of course, without question, it all has a surprisingly strong sense of scale that may be obscured by the fire sometimes in the A part, but is still a remarkable effort all the same when it comes to the tracking shots and camera work that he comes up with. There's a reason this man is a co-series director to begin with, and the type of stuff that he lays out here is right up my alley and then some. When even the ice crackling sounds of Brook's ice wall syncs up with Black Maria's back cracking at the end, to me that's cinema. Hizaiwe supervises the A part of the episode outside of a cut here and there handled by Shimanuki or one of the assistants, and their art has its own angular and slightly visceral flair that makes it unique and adds to the punchy compositions that Koyama creates in the half itself. And thankfully there isn't as much Shimanuki jank to be had here when it comes to his own half, as Chief Supervisor Keiichi Ichikawa has us covered largely when it comes to making sure his side of the art is well polished, helping the episode look aesthetically pleasing on top of the solid animation that peppers it all throughout, whether it be from animators like Chu himself with Robin's short but sweet transformation scene into the Demonio form, or the only madman willing to draw Black Maria for that long, Naoto Shishida, and his climactic cuts at the end of the fight, that sell it so very well due to his knack for being a climax animator while giving us some really damn good art in the process. making 1044 an episode that met my expectations head on, and I love it for that. Koyama's direction is just so absurdly unique amongst the sea of directors that are on the show already, and this episode just really emphasized his talent for making stuff special, interesting, and all around just emotional. And it'll be interesting to see where 1045 falls on that spectrum next week from newcomer to the One Piece anime Yuji Tokuno. Tokuno is a freelancer known mostly for his work on Fire Force that's also very Shaft-esque in its direction, so with an already solid looking storyboard and a couple of surprisingly good bits of animation, I'm excited to see the debut for this new addition to the One Piece anime team. Anyways guys, that's it for now. I'm Skippy, and thank you Koyama.